And
Okay.
then that's fine, we're good.
Okay. How do you bring the camera up? Start video when it's ready?
Hit that.
We can mute it for another 2 minutes.
You can.
Yeah, I can do
There
the
you
6th.
go.
I can do the 6th.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put it on my calendar too.
It's backwards.
I'm not messing.
Yeah, we're good.
We'll try to make this
We got about 7 seconds.
There we go.
7 seconds.
keep track.
Rock and roll, dude, rock and roll.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. It is the March 16th Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Y'all please stand, remove our hats and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Well, welcome, everybody. We'll go now down in history as a fantastic evening, especially for those on the video. I'm gonna have the roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Brown,
Here.
Mr. Steck,
Here.
Mr. Warble,
Here.
Mr. Lund.
All right. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to either speak for or against the issue this evening?
I would like to speak for
Okay, do you mind rising? Please stand.
Yep.
Raise your hand. Repeat after me. Or do you sincerely declare and affirm that the testimony you're about to give before the Board of Zoning Appeals will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as you shall answer under the penalty of perjury? If so, answer I do.
it. I do.
Thank you. Tonight's hearing is BZA case 2023001, our first case of the year. It's with Carson and Shelby Albert. The address is 15945 Lexington Salem Road, West Alexandria, Ohio 45381. The property is located on the south side of Lexington Salem Road at the east intersection of the Crawford County Line Road. The parcel number is L5502-806-0019. It is 1.17 acres. The property is zoned RA. The nature of the appeal is a variance to build a pole barn in the northeast portion of the property, which is considered frontage. Like to open up the floor for discussion. Carson, would you like to?
Yeah.
Stand and.
Go to the podium, please.
I will. Yeah, I'm wanting to build a pole barn in the frontage of my property, which my property is laid out in a big triangle. And I am unable to build behind my property. Thing in front of the house, the back of the house is considered frontage, so that is the only area that I am able to build the barn.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all.
Any questions from anybody here on the floor for Carson particularly? All right, Carson, thank you. Anyone else like to speak for or against this? All right, well, I'm going to make a motion to close the open portion of this meeting.
I'll second it.
All right, Brad, kind of poll you, get an idea of what you're thinking here.
Yeah, I don't know where else they would put it. I was out there, they can't put it behind because they'd be over top of their septic system back there. Cause I stopped out and it's obvious where that's at. So the configuration of the lot, you know, there's already a barn there. They're just moving it out a little bit closer to the roads.
Right.
It'll be a nice improvement for the property.
Correct. I agree.
Well, I think it's going to be a big improvement to your property and the neighborhood to see that burn down, and it may even be a safety hazard. I don't know, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think you're kind of stuck there with what you're doing.
All right. Mr. London?
The only question I had was I wasn't, I was glad to see the declaration of intent. That's really valuable for us. So in the future, just don't know, that's a really great thing. It makes it easier for us. The only thing I wasn't really clear on was the where the road is, how far of a setback there was off the road. And it could be because these glasses, you know,
What is it, 35, 9 feet?
is that what it is?
Can you tell?
35.49 feet.
Okay.
It's almost on the same existing footprint of the barn that's there. And the building to the west of it kind of restricts the to move towards the road, if I had to guess.
Okay, so what I was seeing here. This is the site.
Right. This is the existing pad, right?
Right.
This is the site.
Right. This is to the center. The green lines are center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
White, okay.
yeah, your green lines are center, and that's why I was asking whether this is the proposed site here,
It is. Mhm.
which is fine. And I agree with everybody else. You know, it is the only logical place. Yes, I agree. It's also going to be an improvement, you know, everything else. It's just, I wasn't clear. Our setback is what, 30?
Is it 30?
I think it's 30.
30.
30 or 31? I just want to make sure that it meets the setback, that's all.
Yeah, here's the setback right here.
And I just couldn't read it. If it's there.
Mhm.
That's the thing that we, for safety's sake, down the road and for everybody else, you want to make sure that setbacks,
Mhm.
that the building itself meets that setback and doesn't go any closer than it is, you know. And I always say setback plus, if you can pull it back another 5, you know, or something like that, a couple more feet. You don't have a lot of room there.
Mhm.
You really don't. So my sympathy. And you're right. I think it is the best place for it. And I do think it'll be an improvement, but that's the only concern I had.
Okay.
Do you know if the design's going to allow for access from both sides?
Um,
You have a main door on the Lexington Salem side.
so it'd be the front and the back, so it'd be close to the driveway and then to the back of it, which would be to the.
So just so I'm clear, so if you wouldn't mind, thanks.
Yeah.
You'd have access coming in here
Correct.
and access.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. From the safety standpoint, that was hoping. And then my only concern was that it meet the setback from the.
Yeah, and I believe the setbacks outlined on that civil survey as well.
Yeah.
Which is not in that setback area.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
All right.
Looks good to me.
Do I have a motion on the floor to go ahead and grant Carson?
And Mike, you also received a letter from.
Oh, yeah, I did. And I did receive a letter.
And to put that in,
Oh, you should.
Yep, I should. Let me,
Don Yancey.
You got it.
yeah, John years ago. And we will note on the video that we did receive a letter from John and Karen, Krista, I guess it is, which are Carson and Shelby's neighbors. The Yancey family owns parcel number L55-02806-0020 directly across Lexington Salem Road from the Albert property, as well as the parcel L55-02806-0026 which is adjacent to the east of the Albert property. They said that we offer our full support for the appeal of the variance and conditional use for the new location of the new building that the Alberts plans to construct, with both of their names below with their phone numbers. Enter that into the. I could also.
So if you want, I'll make a motion.
Sure.
In BZA case L5, no, wait a minute, let me get the right number. Do you have a number assigned to this one?
It is, it's
2023001.
Oh, okay. Didn't see it on here. In this case, in this appeal, I move that we grant the appeal for the variance, as requested. With no restrictions.
all right,
I'll second it.
all right.
Add the second.
Yes. Go ahead and vote on that.
Okay. Brad Warble,
Yes.
Michael London,
Aye.
David Stack.
Yes.
and Michael Brown.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna go through the variance and conditional use. First one would be the variance.
Conditional use? The conditional use on this? one? I don't think we do.
Variance, don't we?
Okay,
Right, I think they just, I don't think we need,
I've always.
okay.
all right. We're just gonna do the variance tonight. The variance will be for Carson and Shelby Albert. The date will be for March 16, 2023. The BZA case is 2023001. The board shall not grant a variance in each specific case until it has made a finding of fact directly based on the evidence presented in each of the following questions. All the questions must be answered true by a majority of the board members present for the variance to be approved. Questions for the area variance. A. Variance requested arises from special conditions of or involving the property which are unique and not ordinarily found in this zoning district.
True.
B, the situation as a result of the enforcement of this zoning resolution and not by any action of the property owner or applicant.
True.
True. C, it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, and morals.
True.
D, it will not compromise the general spirit and intent of the zoning resolution.
True.
E, it will not compromise the use or enjoyment of the adjacent properties.
True.
F, it will not affect adjoining agricultural land or farmland drainage systems.
True.
G, evidence has been shown that the zoning resolution is not practical in this case.
True.
We'll prove that. All right, you're good to go. Yep, you can see Karen tomorrow and she'll get you everything you need for the county.
Guys.
All right, do I need to make a motion? Just,
Oh, have you done that this year yet? Or is this the first meeting?
that's why.
Yeah, so, you would open the meeting for nominations,
Okay,
for officers for both chair and vice chair.
Okay.
But you have to do that.
all right. Well, I would like to formally open the meeting to put forth chair and vice chair for the board.
And I'd like to make a motion to, you didn't think you could get very, I'd like to make a motion.
Last breath out of my mouth.
Yeah, that was it, for Mike Brown to be chair for the coming year.
I'll second that.
And for the vice chair, do we have any input? Brad, Mr. Stack?
You always sit there, I'm gonna do something, you know that.
I nominate Brad.
You better be careful, Brad, you ready?
All right.
Well, he's the oldest.
You get more experience.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So I'm gonna make another nomination. I'm gonna nominate for vice chair, Brad.
Okay.
I'll second that.
There you go.
All right. My next act will be, has everyone?
After that, you
Oh, we
will,
have to vote.
yeah, you'll need to vote.
All right.
Make a
A vote.
Right.
for the,
On the motion.
on the motion.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm following. I don't call the roll. or
You
the-
can.
Yeah, yes.
You can, yeah.
Okay, all right. Michael London.
Aye.
Aye.
Brown.
Yep.
Brad Warble.
David.
All right,
All right.
Okay. And that was for both motions.
The last bit we have for this evening is the minutes from December 1st, 22. Cynthia and Miranda, everybody have a chance to go through the minutes, and see if.
Yeah, I read them. I wasn't here, but obviously, but
It's verbatim from the meeting.
all right.
Yeah.
I did type those verbatim.
they look good to me.
Right here.
I didn't see anything.
Oh, you have a motion to accept the minutes for December 1st, 2022?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Right. Barring any other news or information? Okay.
David Stack. Brad Warble,
Yes.
Michael London,
Yes.
and Mike Brown.
Yes. Anything else to share with the board this evening?
Could you give us an update on the new group?
Yes, we do have a full zoning commission board.
Okay.
I have scheduled their first meet and greet planning session. It's
Mhm.
technically not going to be, where we're gonna dig in and do that yet. I felt like that they need to have an opportunity to meet one another, talk about themselves, to get some background, and then kind of give a scenario or, what the expectations are for the zoning commission. Everyone got a copy of the article of the zoning code. Have an idea what they're going to be doing.
Hmm.
So we have John Yancey on there. He's going to talk. Doug Crow is also returning. And then we have Sherry Simon, Jeffrey Keith. We have Warner, and we have Manford Shire.
Good.
So that is our board,
Good group.
but we do still need to get at least 2 more people for the BZA board. Because I know Michael still wants to stay as an alternate, and he was great to come in tonight for this. So we've got to get 2 more people on this board.
Okay.
What is that board?
Pardon me?
What is that? What's a BZA board?
This one here.
The Board of Zoning.
Board of
Appeals,
Zoning
which is what we
Appeals.
Just did.
As a matter of fact, the one thing I would want to say about the commission, this is the Board of Zoning Appeals. And the Board of Zoning, a lot of people don't understand our job here. And I'm saying this because I've been here for so many years. I'm very familiar with it. Our job is to listen to appeals to the zoning code, whatever's decided. So we do not decide this should be, the code should look like this, or you should build like, we don't do any of that. This is considered from a legal point of view, this is considered a judiciary body. We're to make decisions from an appeal. And just like this evening, it was an excellent example. Here's somebody who wants to follow the code and wants to build something and wants to meet the code, but they can't because their property doesn't conform in the way that the average property for a code. So it's our job to look at it and say, you're right. It doesn't conform, and it won't interrupt anybody else's problem. And so it's to give them a break. That's our job. And to wherever we can with the Board of Zoning Appeals is to listen to those appeals and to decide whether or not it really is a change from the code. And then secondly, should it be granted? What's the reason for we should grant an appeal? Most of the time we do. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been around 20 some years, and there have been times when someone's come in and we've said, no, I'm sorry. You need to stick with the code. There's not a good reason to go outside of the code. What I'm really, really happy to see is that we do have a commission. So the commission, the zoning commission makes the zoning code. The Board of Zoning Appeals listens to appeals to someone who cannot or does not want to meet that code. So we refer to them sometimes as boards, but one is a commission, one is an appeal board. We're the appeal. We have not had, and I'm not blaming anybody for this. I really want to be clear about that. But we have not had an active commission taking a look at for a while. And that's not in the best interest of the residents in the township. We need to have somebody looking at it periodically because things change, situations change, other laws change, any number of different things change. And so we need someone to be listening. So I am really, and we're stuck. If the code is not changed by a commission, and the commission probably hasn't sat in I can't even tell you how many years, if they don't change the code, we're stuck. We can sit here and there's only so far we can go to change on an appeal. And we have said there are a number of issues and that you've got a record of those issues.
Right.
There's a number of issues that need to be addressed by the commission that they can make a decision on that we cannot. And so I'm really thrilled because we're like this, our hands are tied. We have to work with the code that's there. When we really, 4 or 5 people are sitting here, we're going, really need to change the code.
Right.
Oh, we can't do that.
We can't write the code that.
We're not allowed to do that. So sometimes we get a little frustrated up here, but most of the time, it's pretty easy, but that's the difference if that helps.
Another great example is technology changes and for
Absolutely.
like for swimming pools, where we require people to have fences around their swimming pools now. There's a new swimming pool cover out that covers the pool when no one's in it that you can actually park a car on. So it kind of negates the need for a fence. And so that is why you would come to us to talk about something like that. And just little simple things like that to try to make the township work for the people that are in it.
And if the code accommodated that, this is the reason we need the commission to meet. I'm looking at you because I'm thrilled you're going to be there. I'm thrilled it's happening because if the commission meets and they look at that issue, they can write that into the code.
Right.
And guess what? The resident doesn't have to pay
$480
for an appeal board meeting.
Right.
Which is by law, we do, and we've been frustrated because there've been many times where we don't want people to have to come in here. We want the code to work.
Right.
But it hasn't been looked at and fixed. And so
And
we're
there's-
thrilled.
And there's so much stuff that comes across my desk, like, right now, the big thing is the solar panels.
Yeah.
We have nothing on it. Absolutely nothing. We don't have fencing.
Right.
There's a lot of things that just need to be addressed that haven't been.
Needs to be updated.
People living in barns.
Yeah, a couple.
Yes.
They came in, they wanted to build a barn with living quarters and until they could save up the money or a couple of years later, build their house. Well, they can't have 2 residences with the same address on the same property. So we have to look at that and say,
Right.
you can't rent out your barn after you leave it when you build your house. Because then that's part of the zoning.
Right.
And the Board of Zoning here, we've done that, but they've also put in place
Right.
stipulations that as soon as that house is built, then whatever living quarters they had in that barn cannot be living quarters anymore. It has to be something else.
So
The stipulation has a time limit on it as well.
It stays with the property,
usually,
doesn't stay with the owner.
Can't be.
It stays with that property. So even if they sell it and somebody else
Right.
comes in and I get to monitor, because we put that in there.
so for instance, in terms of a time limit, there might be a time limit. We may say to someone, we have in the past, in the years I've been
Right.
here. We may say to someone, no, we're going to give you 3 years. But after 3 years, you got to come back and we got to have a conversation as to why, because we're making an exception. We're not changing the rules.
Hmm.
The rules need to be changed by the commission.
We had a person that sat at this table for a long time that had a great saying. He goes, I'm here, I can bend the rules a little bit, but I just can't break them.
Exactly.
So currently this board has all of the positions full? Or
No.
You do not have all the positions?
No, I am an alternate. I used to be, I chaired this for, I don't know how many years and I've been here for 20-some years. And a year or so ago, I said, I've got so much on my plate. I need to be able to back off. And I wasn't worried because Mike was here and Brad was here and, you know.
So the 40-hour job.
No,
No,
no.
no, and you do some study too. You get a copy of the code, you know, that you can study, and then if you want to do it, please. And then you can sit there and go, why the hell don't you change, you know, and do what we've done, waiting for a commission to meet to fix stuff.
So what do I have to do to post for that position?
You have to fill, I have an application you need to fill out,
Have a conversation and then be appointed by the trustees.
and you have to go before the trustees. Yeah.
We, you know,
And we would welcome your service.
I don't know if we've met 6 times in 1 year. I mean, depends on how busy you are.
It does.
It depends on, well, okay, prime example. We're in March.
Yeah.
I've scheduled 3 BZA meetings already.
Mhm.
So we're getting busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But some of it's stuff that you can fix.
Right.
You
absolutely.
fix it, I don't have to do it.
We don't have to be here.
I like the way you guys work though.
Yeah. He likes to see us work. I mean, no.
We still haven't closed the meeting yet. I probably need to do that. Do I hear a motion on the floor to close the meeting? All right, Mr. Steck. Second. Mr. Warble.
Okay. Brian Warble,
Yes.
David Steck,
Yes.
Michael London.
Yes,
Mike Brown.
Yes.
meeting is closed. Yeah, I'm, this is gonna be great. And any